Hello everyone and welcome to Food for Thought. I'm Pastor Wale. Today we're going to be making lobster fried rice. So let's get to it. Now an interesting fact about the lobster is that the lobster continues to grow throughout its lifetime. Now the signal for it that it's time to grow is when it starts to feel pressure in its shell. Once it feels that pressure, it finds a rock and it hides underneath it. So once it gets to the rock, it exits its shell. Alright, let me get the second one cut. Now it hides under the rock because when it exits the shell, the rock actually protects it from predators. Now I don't know any better rock than Jesus. As a matter of fact, Psalm 61 verse 2 says that when my heart is overwhelmed, lead me to the rock that's higher than I. You know what, let's get to some cooking. Alright, so just cut your lobster, cut about 3 or 4 pieces each. Alright, let me put this away here, and this one. Alright, that looks good. Alright, so we chopped up our lobster earlier, so I'm going to put a little bit of salt and black pepper for seasoning. You don't want to season it too much. Now my pan is heating up, so it's time to add butter, about 2 tablespoons. And once this gets melted, I'm also going to add about 3 tablespoons of olive oil, extra virgin if you want to know. I also have about a tablespoon chopped garlic. And what we're doing is just building on flavors. And now it's time to add our lobster. Okay. So we're going to let this cook for about 5 minutes. Alright, so our lobster is done for now. So we're going to take it out of the pan and set it aside for some time. Now it's time to add our vegetables. Alright. Just giving it a quick stir to make sure it's cooking evenly. Alright, so I'm going to add a little bit of salt, just for taste, and a little bit of black pepper. Alright, so our vegetable is done cooking right now, and it's time for us to add our chicken broth. Now, some people buy this from the store, but I made this earlier, and for a small fee, I can tell you what the recipe is. So next we have our raisins. Corn, and finally our carrots. It's time to add our rice. Now I pre-boiled this earlier, and I'd suggest you do it when you're making this. Alright, so it looks like it's about ready for our main ingredient, which is the lobster. And actually it is. So we're going to add that in, and you want to stir it in. So once you add the lobster in, you just need to give it about 5 more minutes for it to cook, and it should be ready. So our rice is done, and we're going to be serving it with this red sauce I made earlier. Now for this recipe and for all other Food for Thought videos, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Now let's plate this. Alright, and now we're going to garnish with our fried plantains. Alright, looking nice. And we are done. Now let's get this out. Nice and gentle. And to garnish with our parsley. So a recap of what we did today. We spoke about the lobster. The lobster never stops growing, and the signal for the lobster that it's time for it to grow is when it feels pressure in its shell. When it feels that pressure, it hides underneath the rock to exit that shell. So maybe that pressure you're feeling at work, maybe that pressure you're feeling in that relationship, that business, is not meant to crumble you, but meant to make you grow. The Bible says in Daniel 11 verse 32 that those that know their God will be strong and do exploits. I'm Pastor Wale, and this has been Food for Thought.